Wait, am I recording? Are we okay? What's going on, my little bundle of chestnuts? It's your girl, Kate Winchester here, and I just wanted to clear some things up real quick. I am single, okay? Um, so a little bit about what happened without getting into too much detail because I'm still really hurt. Um, so for a straight up month, I was told that he was going to work. Turns out he was not. He was going to friends' houses, he was going to parties, and he was cheating on me the whole time. And he did not, he would lie to me every day about going to work because he would leave at the same time every day and he would not come back from work until 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 in the morning, and then tell me that he was just helping them close. He worked at a 24-hour place. And then he told me that it was because of COVID they were closing everything down early. And me and his aunt both looked that up, and no. They were still open 24 hours. And upon doing my own research by asking his friends, he was indeed cheating on me for a month, and then coming home to me and telling me that he loved me and he promised that he would never leave me. Because I remember getting scared one night and I asked him, I was like, babe, I had a dream that you left me. And he said, I would never leave you. And he turned over and comforted me back to sleep. And then 2 weeks later, he fucking left. And the reason why was because we were fighting a lot. And I mean, I guess I could have done better. But because of the way I was treated in the past with our relationship, I remember him being in Texas and me being here and us being like long distance. He would tell me that he was going to go hang out with a girl or with a friend or whatever, and I would be like, please don't go hang out with her. I've seen how you guys talk to each other. I've read the conversations. There was even one friend that he was doing like a sex comic with, and he was like, does this bother you? And I said, yes, it does. I don't want you to keep doing this. Please don't do that with her anymore. And he said, well, fucking deal with it. Like, he asked me if I had a problem with it. And I told him, yes, I did. And then he got mad at me because I had an issue with it, called me controlling, told me that I was insecure, and he talked to me like that, and I still stayed. Treated me like that, and I still stayed. And it's really painful that after all this time, that's how I'm still being treated. Like, that's how I was treated, and I still love him and care about him. So, I told him, and this is important information, even though it was like so long ago, it is still relevant, because there would be friends that he would tell me, don't worry about her. Yeah, we flirt all the time, but she's like a sister to me, and we've been hanging out since I was like 5 years old. Don't worry about her. I get a phone call from people that tell me that he did, in fact, cheat on me. And then he would want to go hang out with her again, and I would tell him, please don't go hang out with her. Why you gotta be so controlling? It didn't matter how I asked him. It didn't matter how I asked, please stay, like, please don't go hang out with her, like, because I know what's gonna happen, like, well, why you gotta accuse me of shit that didn't actually happen? Why you gotta be like that? So, because it didn't matter how I communicated, toxic behavior can make somebody else toxic. And I am saying this because I am a big enough person to say that I did become toxic towards the end. But he was also still toxic. And toxic versus toxic, they don't cancel each other out. They just make it worse. So yes, it was partly my fault. But because I didn't know how to communicate anymore, because every time I did, I was still controlling, I was still insecure, I was still just being paranoid, even though I was actually right. It didn't matter how I communicated, even when I was telling him nicely, babe, please don't go hang out with her. And I used to be passive as fuck. I used to be like beating around the bush, and he'd be like, if you don't want me to hang out with her, just say you don't want me to hang out with her. Okay. Can you not hang out with her? Why you gotta be so controlling? And that's how it went every time. Every time. You remind me every day I'm not enough, but I still stay. That was me, literally. So, I just got told in one of the phone calls, like one of the recent phone calls, that I was the toxic one that pushed him away. Because I would constantly degrade him. I just didn't know how to communicate anymore. Because every time I tried, I was being called abusive, and I was being called paranoid, and I was being called controlling. And, like, I was gaslighted, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's all his fault. Like, there was a lot of stuff that I could have done better. And, like, I can be a bigger person and say where I fucked up. Or, unlike him, I can sit and say, I made a mistake. I fucked up. And I'm extremely sorry for what I did to you. And actually mean it. But I did. I made a lot of mistakes. But I was never a cheater. I was never a liar. I was never a traitor. And maybe sometimes I did lie because I was being controlled. When I was being long distance, when we were long distance, I would have a couple friends that I would ask to hang out with, friends that were gay. Friends that I could even tell my stepmom, could tell him, no, I know for a fact he's gay, it's fine. Well, I still don't want you to hang out with him. And if I actually did hang out with him anyway, I would not be texted or called for days. Whereas I would be like, why did you do that to me? Okay, I forgive you, like. And then I was the one that got cheated on and left every time. And that's why what I'm about to say next is so painful and why it hurts so bad. But there was one night when he came home really late, and I was mad. So I started trying to talk to him. And, you know, we were in a disagreement about him partying all the time because I knew that when he partied, he smoked weed. I knew when he partied that there were girls there and that he was probably sleeping with and fucking before he came home. I knew. But I loved him so much, I was in denial, and I just hoped that it was like an obstacle that we could just get over. I just wanted him in my life, and I didn't care. And, like, maybe he wanted me to care. And I did, and that was the issue, is that I cared. But every time I brought it up, it would just start a fight. And every other time, and I remembered in the past how, like, every other time I had an issue with something he was doing, I would bring it up, and he would attack me and then need a break and then just end up breaking up with me. So I ended up just not saying anything and just not talking about what bothered me. And then when we started living together, I got tired of that. And I told him, I was like, you know what? No, I have issues with this and this and this and this and this. Like, you really need to stop doing this. Oh, well, you just don't want me to be myself. You just don't want me to be me. His favorite thing to say. That was his favorite thing to say. And it just made me feel like shit. But I loved him, so I put up with it because I loved him, and I thought we were gonna be okay at some point. So I just kind of let it go. I just kind of let it go. But there were so many nights when he would be asleep, and I would just turn over to my side and cry myself to sleep, but cover my mouth so that he can still sleep. I would cry myself to sleep every fucking night for a while. Like, probably the last month of our relationship, I would be crying myself to sleep every night. And I'd cover my mouth so that he couldn't hear me, so that he could sleep, because I thought he was going to work. Turns out he just needed sleep to go fuck. You know, you save your stamina, you know, like, get your adrenaline back. And then there was one time when there were a lot of times when he would come home from work and want some ramen, and I would be in bed in tears with me being at my real job, like my actual work, because I was actually working and being the breadwinner for our son, you know? And I would be in so much pain, like my back would be killing me, my ankles would be swollen, and I would be in tears. He'd come home, throw his shit down on the floor that I spent my last 2 hours off cleaning, even no matter how much it hurt, and he didn't even notice. He would just throw his shit down and be like, "Can you make me some ramen?" Knowing that I'm in pain, seeing that I'm crying. And I would just, without question, roll over, get up, make him some ramen, bring it to him. He'd eat it, and I would take his dishes back to the sink, crying the whole time, and then plop down in bed and try to go to sleep. And then turn around, and he turns out he heard me crying, and he was literally like this, trying to go to sleep. And trying to sleep through the crying. I just felt so unappreciated. But I just thought that was a typical guy thing. I just thought that was a typical man not realizing how hard she works kind of thing. But and I would even send him text after text, "Hey, I feel unappreciated. Here's why. Okay, babe, I'll try to do better." And the next day, it's the same shit. So the night of the breakup, I tried communicating how I felt. And he just wanted to go to sleep. And he ended up sleeping through what I was trying to say. And because of all of that bottled up rage and anger of just being quiet about it and not saying anything, I just lost my shit. So I started hitting the bed because I was just mad. And he turned over, and because we were in Dobbs sub, he swatted my ass a couple times and then got up, said he was going outside, put his shoes on, and left. And then he came back. I tried cuddling him. I tried holding his hand. He wouldn't even touch me. And I just thought that it was just a really, really bad fight and that we were going to be okay. But he left. The next day he left and never came back. And every time he did come back, it was just to very slowly get more of his stuff. But then at the same time, he would reassure me that we were going to be okay. had some dirty clothes and didn't have anything that was clean, and that we were okay. He still needed a minute. But I didn't know that he was already in a whole ass relationship with someone else. After a fucking week, bro. After a week, he was already in a new relationship with somebody, and they're still together, and but what's really painful, what hurts the most about him being able to move on so quickly after a fucking year, and it's been maybe 3 months, and I'm still crying. I'm still working on not turning over in the morning and saying babe and expect to be answered. And he's already moved on and happy, changed his relationship status, and changed all of his profile pictures, and he was able to move on like that. The most painful part of it is he wasn't able to do the bare minimum with me, but he can do it with her. She has all of his passwords. All she has to do is this, and he gives her his phone. And I would get this all the time. He would give me his password, but he'd change it. Every time I would get suspicious about something, and I'd ask him for his phone, well, why do you need my phone? Why can't you just trust me? Why do you have to be so paranoid? But with her, it's just, he can't do the bare minimum with me, but he could do it with her. Every little thing he has to ask her before I even send him pictures of the belly painting that my aunt did. He has to ask her. If it was me, when he was with me, if it was anybody else, he would have just been like, yeah, go ahead, send it to me. I don't care what she thinks. I'll just delete it. And I would go through his conversations. I would go through his texts. And there would be nudes. But I wouldn't say anything about it because I didn't want to lose him with my jealousy and my paranoia. But, like, is it really jealousy and paranoia? If there's already something to fear? But I still love him. That's what hurts. What hurts about all of this what hurts about all of this is all of the promises that he made me. And I just get to see them all being broken, one by one. I would never leave you. That promise is broken in 2 weeks. This is your last week of being a Perrine, and then you become a Newton. I already asked Lindsay if we can buy the marriage certificate, if we can buy the marriage license. So enjoy your last week of being a Perrine, and that never happened. I'm still a Perrine. I will always be here for you and our son. Where the fuck is he at? Now, I did move. And he didn't even know that I moved. But the reason being is because there was a lot of drama that I legally cannot discuss right now in case some shit does go down and I have to use it in court. I can't talk about it. But some shit went down and I had to move. And we still talk. We still text. And I'm left with all of the good memories of the times when we were okay. When he would be here for my little space. When he would take care of me when I was sick. Before we got pregnant. Before we knew I was pregnant. And I was really, really sick and thought I was dying. And we had to go to the doctor. And he picked me up and carried me to the car. And then carried me home and carried me on the couch, tucked me in, made sure I was comfortable. And told me that if I moved, he was going to beat my ass. Because I'm stuck with those. I'm stuck in this haze where everything was fine and I just had to watch it slowly deteriorate before my eyes, and I couldn't do anything about it because whenever I tried, it was obvious that he didn't want to try. Get out! Sorry. Just, he didn't want to try. He never wanted to try. I was always the one trying, even when we were okay. Even when, you know, he was in Texas and I was here, I would always try to communicate. But I would just be paranoid for it. I would just be controlling. He would need a break because of me trying to talk to him and tell him how I felt about certain girls. Just so that he could do whatever he wanted. But then he finds out that there's a guy in here in my house because of a family gathering and he doesn't recognize the voice. Doesn't even ask me who it is. He'll just hang up and never talk to me for like 3 days. And then when he does talk to me, he'll call me all sorts of names, ask me who the fuck was in my house. And I'd have to reassure him that it was an uncle or a cousin or somebody. And, well, I never heard about them before. Well, you never asked. And, you know, you could have asked me instead of freaking the fuck out. But then as soon as I do that, quit being so paranoid. Why you gotta be like that? Meh. And with her, he's a completely different person. And it's just really painful to be told that you're the love of someone's life and they would never ever hurt you. And they promise you the world. And then you have to watch them go be that for someone else. And watch all of the promises that they broke with you come true with another person. And I'm still hoping that he's gonna come back one of these days. My heart still skips when he calls. And then I realize that things are never gonna be the same again. And there's nothing I can do about it. Other than just wait for the day to end. And wait for tomorrow. And wait for it to not hurt anymore. And right when this all happened, he said, like, well, I left because I realized that I was hurting you and I made you toxic and I did this and I did that. So I left, the best thing that ever happened to me. But it hurt because he had it at the time. Because he was already with this new item. Like, but you know what, it's okay because soon enough he'll do the same shit to her that he did to me, and all I can do is just tell her, I told you so. I wasn't trying to be a bitch when I met her, but he did just kind of bring her into the house and rub her in my face in a way. And yes, I did call her flavor of the month, and I did call her a blizzard. I did call her a seasonal blizzard, but you know what? Like, that's what I was, only I was flavor of the year, apparently. And that's what everybody else was, you know? And you know, he might say that she's different, but I was also told that I was different. And after further investigation, all of his other exes were told that they were different. So, as far as I'm concerned, no, he's never gonna change. And I just hope that our son is a better man than he ever will be. And it hurts to say that about him. It really does. But it's true. You know, it's like 1 minute we're friends, and he tells me in a phone call, we're still friends. Like, it's okay, we're still friends. And then in the next phone call, he's like, so I want a paternity test because I don't believe Riley's mine. Really? I wasn't the one that was a cheater, mister. I wasn't the one that was a hoe in this relationship. In that relationship, I wasn't the hoe. Like, there's a rumor going around saying that when we were living together in one of the places that we were in, that I was hoeing around after work. When why? What would be the purpose of that? He was the only one that was attractive to me. Even now, I can't move on. Even now, the thought of me with another man just disgusts me. It's revolting to me. Because he was the only one that I pictured spending the rest of my life with. Nobody else. During that relationship, during that time, other guys would try to flirt with me, and these were attractive men, but they weren't attractive to me at the time. He was my entire world. My world revolved around him. So for somebody to say that I was going around and cheating and being a hoe, when I was actually at work going, man, I can't wait to go home and see my baby. I can't wait to go home and see my man. I can't wait to go home and see my boyfriend. Like, I miss him so much. Like, I know it's been 4 hours, but I miss him so much. I can't wait until I get to go home and see him. Like, I don't think anybody that thinks like that would cheat. Because he was the best part of my day. He was the best part of my day. The nighttime was my favorite, though, because I knew that I would be right next to him for 8 hours, and it was the best. Waking up next to him was everything, because I felt so safe in his arms, and it felt like there was nothing else there that mattered. It didn't matter where we were, as long as we had each other. And there's really people saying that I was the one that cheated as well. And there's really people that are trying to convince him to get a paternity test because there's no way that Riley could be his. And that just hurts. Because I don't understand why I could think like that and still be accused of cheating. You know, like, I had a friend named Elizabeth, and she was the only friend that I had over there. And even when she would ask to hang out, sometimes I would tell her no because my favorite place to be was at home because he was there. I didn't want to be anywhere else unless it was with him. I didn't want to go anywhere that he couldn't come with me. And it hurts that he didn't feel the same way and that he was going around being a hoe towards the end because, you know, like I said, he was the best part of my day, and apparently I was the worst part of his, and that's really painful. And it's weird because in all of my videos of like my TikToks and stuff when I was with him, like when he was here, I didn't expect it at all. Like we were so happy. I was happy and the happiest I'd ever been. In high school, I was extremely happy and bubbly and outgoing and social. And then I went to Job Corps, and then I met him, and I became even happier. And then he broke me, and then fixed me again, and then broke me again. Okay. Imagine this is my heart, right? This is what he did. He broke it, and then that's too hard. Alright, fine. I'll fix it again. I'll fix it again. That goes there. We're almost done. I just gotta put this last piece. I don't know, it just seemed fun. Let's put this piece back. Oh, shit. Oh, oops, I accidentally broke it too much. Hang on. I'll fix it for you. I'll fix it. I promise this time. I'll fix it. Fuck it. It's whatever. Too hard. Sorry. I can't do this. Bye. Sometimes people will just try to pick up the broken pieces until they realize that it makes them too bloody. So, and it's just kind of too hard for them. So they'll just kind of left you more broken than you were before. While you have shredded your hand so much that the bone is exposed. And now you're just kind of stuck holding on to their pieces and they're just not there anymore. So you're just kind of holding on to that. And so what do you do? I just once loved somebody so much that I was trying to fix them, but I didn't realize that the whole time they were breaking me. And now I don't remember who I am. And I don't like that. I miss who I was before I met him. But then at the same time, I miss who I was when I met him, and I was the happiest person on the planet. I miss who I was before he broke me. But it's not all bad because I get a baby out of it. And, it's like, that's the best thing he ever did for me. Best thing that, no, Riley was not planned. And no, he was definitely not a trap. And no, he wasn't a way for me to get out of work. Yes, Paula, I am talking to you. But, everything happens for a reason. And he just realized much too late that it was too complicated for him. So no, he wasn't planned. And no, he wasn't a trap. But he is definitely the best thing that ever happened to me. But Well, no, it is what it is. So, yeah, now you guys know the whole story. If you guys want an ASMR video or something, please let me know. I was actually going to film an ASMR video, but I'd have to find a better way to, I'd have to find a better way to do it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay body positive. Kate Winchester out. Hasta la bye bye. And God bless your nutty little hearts. And don't forget to go nuts.